All right, so this one might be more incriminating, but and after the fact. Remember, there was that little phone conversation in which the disconnect happened in about 8 minutes. It's Charlie to Donna. The phone is disconnected. She keeps talking. Then the whole Vietnam and all that.
Charlie's in jail. Charlie's in jail, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's literally the day after he is convicted. It's the day after,
right?
and so we know what happened not long after that. This was the day that they headed for the airport and the day that there was an arrest. And, well, um, kind of went like this, although this did not get played in court.
No, I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to? Because my insurance. Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. She's under arrest. I have to go with you. I have to go. I can help you. No, I have to stay. Please don't do this. You need to grab the bags. Take the bags. Yeah. You need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
can.
me?
Please, can I go? No, you can't join me there. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Someone's
God.
got to help him get home. This is terrible. You can't do this. This is insane.
Is that okay with you? Please, give us that with handcuffs on. She's not going anywhere. Say it's you. You have anything in your pocket?
No, no. No,
Do you have anything of value in you?
no,
Plus, you have a necklace on. You
Wanna go?
can take
My-
it off. I'll take it.
Yeah, take it off. Yeah. And the earrings, the rings, take everything.
um,
Okay, so to this point, let's talk about Harvey's actions, the surprise, his concern, and her concern for him. Donna says, "How's he going to get home?" They have no idea what's happening here, really. This is not exactly a normal day in the life of the Adelsons.
No.
So, what's your take on their interaction? And we're looking at this from the perspective of: is there anything he does here that is incriminating?
Well, he kisses her. I guess that's incriminating. So it means that they're still, I mean, he feels very together with her. And he knows why they're leaving for Vietnam because he's been in the conversation with Charlie and her, he's been in the conversation with Charlie. We don't know that he was on the conversation with Charlie. We just
Well, we
that-
know he was in the room and he was
we know he's in the
talking,
room.
and the transcript that was played for the jury very
Right.
clearly identified his name as contributing to that conversation. So that means he heard all of the talk about Vietnam. He interacted to some degree, although
Right.
it was far less than Donna. She was orchestrating the whole, we need Wendy, we need your help with some business affairs. And we need to find out, maybe somebody can tell us whether Vietnam or other countries would be better for non-extradition.
Right. So he heard all that. So and he's interacting with it. But on the other hand, the police officers give him her bag that she's carrying on her shoulder.
Well, they don't care because the warrant's not for him, right?
Yeah, I
Why
know.
did they search her bag?
But you have Sanford there, right? Because they probably didn't have a warrant for her bag, and they could take it away from her, eliminate any risk, and then get a warrant for the bag afterwards. I mean, that's the proper procedure to do, as opposed to just taking it and searching it. Once they take
And
it
they
away
did
from her,
ask, is there anything unsafe, the
In your-
usual routine
in your
there.
pockets. I would know though something that came up here is that look what she's wearing. She's wearing a gray sweatshirt hoodie.
Yeah.
And I only say that because in Wendy's book, her ex-husband in that book would always, at the very end of the book, would leave in his gray sweatshirt hoodie. And it just for the first time just threw me off as being kind of funny.
It is ironic. Not exactly a unique piece of clothing, but that is ironic. She's got the, your 8-10 hour flight clothes on because they're going from Miami to Dubai and then whatever layover. Some people think they were going to just bail out at Dubai, which is also a
Right.
country with no extradition. But then if it carried on to Vietnam, you got a few more hours. You want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I was curious if they were flying coach or business or first
I don't
class
know.
even.
I don't know if we've seen the ticket. I mean, I'm sure.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
So he's taking her earrings off now. I mean, it's a very, if my wife ever got arrested, I'd like to think that I would handle it this chauvinistically, or not chauvinistically.
No, this is not
Oops,
chauvinistic.
that would be bad. Chivalrously is what I was trying to say.
Chivalrous, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but
Takes her earrings off.
yeah, and he gives her a kiss, and he takes whatever he can to. But
So
it's
what you're
such a
saying, the
bizarre
closeness.
moment.
You're saying that the closeness
I
that
think
they
he's
had
in on it.
if the 54 years would indicate that he's in on it. That's what you're
I
suggesting.
mean, there's no level of it wasn't even shock. It was like, oh, don't do this. It wasn't like, are you freaking crazy? What are you doing here? It was more anger on her part, and we've seen that play out. And just how do I help on Harvey's part? I don't know. I don't know if I could say he thought it was inevitable, but it certainly didn't seem to be a surprise.
Well, but maybe he thought it was inevitable. Maybe he learned about it after the fact and then thought it was inevitable and all that she would get arrested. But I don't think, how could they be on the jetway? I mean, talk about the last moment. And by the way, Aaron Penner, who's been a great member of our community, who
Thank you,
joined
Aaron
recently,
Penner.
just thank you for the donation, but loves these countdowns, and the JSTV community is amazing. Yes,
I
all
agree.
because
That I agree.
yeah, absolutely. And so, we want you to talk about this because Michael's spent a lot of time putting these together, taking
You'd never know it.
everything to try.
Sometimes the mechanics aren't the best, but I think it's, and this is just our opinion. Obviously, people could differ, and there could be 10 more things that weren't quite. But I wanted, we wanted stuff that would rise to the level of, leading directly to something else, if not good in and of itself. And I'm just, I'm looking behind the curtain of the prosecution's office. What have they got that we don't know? What have they not shared because they haven't had to? And we've had this conversation many times. How, if they do any sort of playing one against the other, how would they use Harvey against Wendy? How would they use Wendy against Harvey? And how would that interpersonal relationship play out? Most people believe Wendy would sell out her father in a heartbeat if it helped herself. And most people also believe that Harvey's not going to turn on, the
daughter
that's not either estranged or in prison.
Right. And then normally the police procedure would be to put pressure on but to arrest Harvey if you think you have a case of any sort for any crime, and then put pressure on the daughter to say, look, well, we'll give him probation, let him out, but you've got to come clean. And that's the way you normally do it. But this family is so crazy. And then remember, when you talk about Harvey, even in this context of kissing his wife and maybe what he knew, Rob had said that for Harvey's birthday, he didn't want any presents. So why would they be rushing to give him a present?
Now, of course, that comes from Rob, who's not exactly at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
But he was at the birthday party.
He was at the birthday party. Yeah, interesting, right? So it's possible they didn't make him part of any birthday present plan. And I've not heard of the birthday present. Have you ever heard of any magnificent birthday present?
No, I haven't heard of any other birthday presents said that he got any birthday presents.
So, and that, of course, leads to the prosecution's belief that the present was the killing of Dan Markel. So you need more than that. And so each of these little nuggets, I think they need a lot more work to get to planning and carrying out the murder than they do learning about it and protecting his family after the fact.
Okay, so that's.
Can we see some more of this just for fun?
Yes, absolutely.
Because once we arrive at County Yale, they're gonna make a remove all that.
Can I call my attorney?
You can, you have a passport already?
Where am I going?
Just hold the company finger.
Where am I going?
You're going to the Dade County jail.
Dade County Yale. No, this is right here, the one on.
Kisses her again.
Yeah. See ya, honey. Have a good trip.
Oh, that's the same. That's the same video. Yeah, or maybe is that the same video from a different?
Oh, that could be.
Yeah,
you may be right.
Yeah.
Two different body cams.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is a
I'll
little
tell
cloudy. So there's the, it's a Arab Emirates airline. Clearly, there's nobody just wears those clothes wandering around. And there's our buddy Pat Sanford.
Yeah, I'll go back out and just. You're making a mistake. Another mistake.
Yeah, you're making a mistake.
So he's still with her,
He's
which is why
defending
he doesn't get on the look. One could say if he were guilty, Michael,
Hold on. I want to hear this. Hold on. I want to hear. Go ahead. I want to hear you.
If one could say if he were guilty, okay, knowing she just got arrested, he's not arrested. There's no warrant against him. He has got a visa. He has got a passport. He could walk on that jetway, get on that plane, and he could leave if he were guilty. So the fact, you could argue the fact that he stayed and did not flee would show that he's not guilty.
So yeah, so there's no real lack of consciousness of guilt as a thing. You know, there's either consciousness of guilt or you can't prove the negative that he must not have been guilty because he didn't leave. But
well, but if you were guilty, wouldn't you leave? Wouldn't you like a?
That's a very good question.
Bye, honey.
I think that's
nice.
I think that's a super good question because the dynamic between these two and the whole family and the whole arrogant belief that we're all good, we're all above the law, we do whatever we want, we get whatever we want. I don't know if you were to tell him, if you could, tell him without it happening that she's going to be convicted. You realize that if he were convinced of that, I think he would hop on the plane. But I don't think he had any belief she would ever be convicted for whatever reason, either because he didn't think she did it or because they didn't have the evidence that he thinks they would have needed to convict her. But that's, if he would have gotten on that plane, I mean, that's a Casablanca moment. That would have been unbelievable. Okay, I'll be in touch. I mean,